Hello, my name is Andrei Ignat. I am a C# MVP, and in this video I'll show you one of my favorite tools. Today the subject is validation. Validation occurs when the business said that the user must fill some fields and there is mandatory, or maybe an workflow occurs. Let's say that we make the first example as simpler, that some fields are required. So when we say that some fields are required, we put the required. Let's see here that email is required. And when entity framework, when MVC tries to save, it sees that there is the required field and it validates. So we have here a person that have no email yet, and we're trying to save, and we will see that it's not saving. Let's do it. So it catches an exception, and the exception says that in the inner exception validation failed for the email field is required. So you'll see that it has done, the email field is required, and when we put an email, I'll put my email here, and now it's saving. The very big problem is that what we have to do if the business says, okay, the first time that the user registers to our website, the email is required. After that, if the user tries to enter more details, the first name is also required, but not the first time. The first time, just the email. So we do not put here required because it will validate the first time when the user is new. What comes to us rescue, it's deleting the required and implementing interface that it's called IValidatableObject. Let's see this interface. In this interface we have a function that is calling this function MVC and entity framework. The function is validate, and I said if string is null word space email, then it's a new validation result, my email is required. If ID is 0, that means new. You may have your own version of new. So here I put if it's new, then no more errors. But if it's existing, and if the first name is null write space, throw another error. So this will help us to see if to throw different validation if an object is new or an object is in another state like saved. Okay, let's see in work. Let me first delete the database. Okay, and start. So the first saving will not be successful, and you see that it comes to validate, and because the email is not here, then we catch the exception again like the first time. Inner exception, validation failed, entity framework, validation count, and validation errors, and my email is required. Okay, stepping over. Now I put an email. When it says save person, let's see what it happens. So the email now is not empty and it returns. So we have the save changes successfully. Then after I save the person, and now it's not new because ID is 1 because I have saved into database, now it will require the first name. Let's see how it happens this. So I'm trying to save again without putting the first name. So ID is not 0, so it goes, it's not new, it's an editing, goes to first name, that it's null, and throws the second exception. So if you see the exception here, it's the second exception. and then I put the first name, that will be my site, and now it satisfies all the condition and the person is saved. So this concludes my demonstration. In order to implement different objects on different states of an object, different validation on a different state of an object, it requires you to implement IValidatableObject. Thank you.